This is a tutorial on how to compare two different data sets. We have one from November that shows shorter college with the highest default rate. But back in September, shorter college reported no defaults. And so it was nowhere near the list. It's now on top on defaults compared to the November list. So the question is, what else changed between September and November? Here's the September list. Arkansas barbering is number 1. In November it's number 2. But what else changed with these 92 different colleges? That's what we're going to do here. What you can do in Tableau is you can pull out an extract of the data. You don't have to pull out the whole sheet. You just left click, view data, and it brings up 2 columns of data, just what you see in the Tableau sheet, the names and the defaults. And you export it. And I've already done this. I exported it, this one, into September. And now flipping over to the November data, exporting that. Left click, view data, brings up the data, just the names and the defaults, export that. Okay, so now we have 2 sheets we've exported. So much for Tableau, off to Excel to compare these 2 data sets. Once Excel makes up its mind that it wants to cooperate and show up here, we will run these analytics. So what we have here, this is what the September export looks like. We just, had Excel cough this up. It's the names and the default rates. And what I've done already is combine these 2 into a sheet that looks like this. Da-da-da-da. Take your time, Excel. Okay, here we are. So this sheet has 2 tabs, one for the November data, the other one for the September data. We're going to apply the very powerful but evil vlookup to compare the list to make sure that there are no names that were added between November and September. So doing that, it's the vlookup formula where you're going to look up the first column against the second column. You're looking up the names in November against the names in September. So that formula, once again, goes like vlookup, telling it to look at the first item in A. And now we can see which ones match and which ones do not. There were a couple that had changed their names, and so we just had to, they were the same institutions, but they were adopted to the University of Arkansas system, and so they had a name change between November and December. September and November, sorry. Once we've lined up the names, then we use this logical function called if. And it's basically saying both the November and September lists are now alphabetized. If the value in September equals the value in November, then we say true. If it doesn't match, false. And so you run down that list to see what the deal is. fumbling around here with a couple of stray characters in the formula. But anyway, I copied the whole if formula down here again, comparing if the November list equals the September list on data. All the names are lined up. And we see National Park College had changed its data from 0.02 in September to 0.192 in November. The other change was the Regency. That was one of the schools that had its name changed, so it was highlighted incorrectly here. But the other change was Shorter College, which reported 0.47 defaults and nothing in September. So this is a really good way of trying to discern differences in data sets. The best tool here, of course, is to maintain version control. Keep an eye on which versions of the data you're using so you can run this stuff down. Hope this tutorial helped. Good luck with your work. See you next week.